My name is Joseph Riggs. I'm an artist from Tesuque, New Mexico. When I began painting watercolor about 25 years ago, my subject came from my roots in Texas, and I painted a lot of rodeo cowboys and Western scenes. My background as a student was in history. I loved history. From childhood, I studied the history of Native Americans. One of the mysteries of Native American history is Chaco Canyon and the Anasazi culture that flourished for hundreds of years in and around Chaco Canyon. They built tremendous buildings and roads and structures. Much of it was oriented with the moon, also the sun. Every time I look up at the night sky, which is a common aspect in my art, I wonder, what did they see? Of course they saw the same thing, but what did they think when they looked up at the night sky? What did the moon mean to them? I think it allows me to experience in my dream life what it was like to look up and try to understand something that dominated their life, while at the same time was not fully understood. I had the opportunity to experience Paris for about 6 weeks in the fall of 2015. Rather than do an academic study, I just wanted to live as a Parisian. I rented an apartment. I learned to ride on the subways. I went to all the museums, but more importantly, I wanted to go to the places that Picasso went, that Monet went, that Cézanne went. I wanted to see what they were seeing. I wanted to feel what they were feeling. I wanted to experience the light and the color and the drama of the people in Paris. Soon I began to see some of the images that they saw. In Paris, the light is very muted. And it is different from the Southwest. So I studied the light, and I studied how they depicted the light. But I also wanted to translate it into my style. Primarily, I use watercolor, and I use watercolor to express the color. One of the things that you do not see in my painting are washed out color. I have learned, and I learned from the experience of being in Paris, to truly get into the depths of watercolor and use it to its maximum. One of the most moving experiences that I had while I was in Paris was I drifted into kind of a secondary church. I'm not sure why I went into it. It was the Église Saint-Séverine. They had the most incredible stained glass windows that were made by a mid-century modern artist, Jean Bazin, that was very different than the traditional stained glass paintings, stained glass windows in France. It really allowed me to see how Picasso developed his cubism, because the stained glass paintings, the stained glass windows, were truly a cubist masterpiece. I immediately went back to my studio in Paris, and I began to draw these paintings that were literally had a fractured look, but it was a fractured look using the sky and the moon and the Native American imagery of the American Southwest. I began to learn that I could go in my own direction, using my own process, using my own images, but also depicting the beauty of the Southwest. I'm deeply influenced by Picasso's Cubism. One of the things you don't see in any of the Picasso Cubist paintings are paintings of the sky. So I came back and I began to paint the sky of the Southwest in the Cubist format. That translated into much of my later work, with geometric designs, but also rich natural colors. And that became the basis of my paintings today.